Hello everyone and welcome back to New Horizons. As we have slowly but surely been transitioning into the digital age, we started last episode with the transfer of most of the items from our old storage room into the brand new storage room, some of which are in drawers connected to Applied Energistics, and the rest is all stored within the storage cells. And it is great being able to actually digitize all of our storage. I'm still excited about this, even though it's been a number of days for me by now. But we also last episode managed to automate radon. So we set up a large chemical reactor to mix plutonium and uranium together, and this creates us a tiny amount of radon every 37 seconds. And radon is going to be a crucial part of today's episode. We also explored the Twilight Forest and got extremely lucky to find some void metal. Inside a well, we managed to find 3 void metal ingots, which is also going to be a crucial part of today's episode. And then finally, we secured a way to easily gather wither skeletons and nether stars. We invested in the Ender IO powered spawner and set it up in the nether to spawn wither skeletons. And we also made use of our Thaumcraft warding spell to easily trap the wither, giving us a very easy way to obtain nether stars, which is also something we need quite a lot of here going forward. Yeah, so welcome back everyone. I'm actually really happy with our current level of progress. This valley build is coming along quite nicely. We have Applied Energistics, of course, which I'm very excited for. Almost 83 buckets of radon. Our blast furnaces have been running between episodes as well. And we're making some nice progress through the EV chapter. However, we left the last episode right here without completing one very important task. I mean, it's not super important, but it's something I'd really like to craft. It's technically possible that we could skip it, but we're not going to skip it at this point. We've already invested many hours into this thing. And I'm talking about, of course, the Master Magic Energy Absorber. And this thing can passively generate us 1 amp of HV power, which, as you can imagine, is going to be ideal here in the beginning to power Applied Energistics. It should help us to keep the cost of benzene down for the moment. And then eventually, once Applied Energistics gets big enough and the energy absorber can no longer sustain it, we can actually just repurpose it to use it for all of the miners, right? So when we inevitably visit some other planets, instead of using the gas turbines, we can set up the energy absorber next to the multi-block miner and use that thing to power it for free. I was thinking a lot about this though between episodes, and I think we're going to change our strategy just a little bit here. Instead of crafting the Master Magic Energy Absorber, we are instead going to invest in the Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorber. And this one, unlike the Master, generates EV power, extreme voltage. As you can imagine though, this does require some extra research, so I picked up the Master Magic Energy Conversion research. So yeah, there's going to be a few different layers to this craft. First of all, let's start with the Master Magic Energy Converter, which is the thing we just researched. It's going to take a beacon, okay. 8 instability, 2 MV field generators, and those things are 4 EV circuits each. So that's 8 EV circuits plus another 2, HV machine hull, 2 dense thaumium plates, and a whole bunch of essentia. Okay, let's pause things right there and make the beacon. So the nether stars I put through the lathe to make into lenses, and the rest for the beacon is just a block of diamond, some obsidian plates, glass, and then 64 of each essentia. Terra, Ignis, Ordo, Lux, Alienus, and Precantatio. But that is only the beginning. This is GTNH. HV machine hull, 2 dense thaumium plates, and a whole bunch of essentia. After the Master Magic Energy Converter, we have to convert that into the Grandmaster Energy Absorber, which is the final item we need. Alright, let's do another pause here and make the Master Magic Energy Absorber. Using our beacon, the field generators, the circuits, and a moderate amount of essentia, we got the second Arcane Infusion. Yeah, and with that crafted, let's progress further. After the Master Magic Energy Converter, we have to convert that into the Grandmaster Energy Absorber, which is the final item we need. And this thing requires IV circuits, 6 of them to be precise. And each of those at the moment are 2 EV circuits. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of circuit crafting. And this thing also requires an HV field generator. And the HV field generator takes the Quantum Eye, which takes radon. Radon plus Eye of Ender in a chemical bath gives us a Quantum Eye. And also something called Niobium Titanium. And we can get that mixing titanium and niobium in a mixer and running that through the blast furnace. The niobium we actually got from Mars. So now back to the Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorber. This is where it actually takes the Void Metal. Instability of 10, which the Infusion Matrix should be able to handle here. And then finally, an insane amount of Essentia. Oh my goodness, guys, we have had some very expensive crafts in this season, but honestly, nothing quite like this. This took me forever. However, I believe we're at the finish line here. We are just trying to piece together this very last craft for the Grandmaster Energy Absorber. So it's like 4 jars of Potentia, Machina, and Instrumentum, which we have right here, and the last jar of Machina. 2 stacks of Electrum, right? Yeah, 2 jars of Electrum, each jar holds 64. 2 stacks of Vacuos, which is on the end. And then also a full jar of Strontium. And the only thing we know of which contains Strontium is Alumite. And I did just toss a full stack of Alumite through the furnace. Hopefully it's finished by now. And speaking of the... yeah, it's finished. Speaking of this furnace, we do need to upgrade this, like, pretty soon. That is a long overdue upgrade. Alright, let's get all of this Alumite smelted down into Essentia. So now all we have to do is fill in the pedestals and make sure they're symmetrical. We have the I don't even know what this is called anymore. Master Magic Energy Converter. That can go in this corner, I guess. Alright, everything seems to be symmetrical. I double checked our Essentia. I think we're ready to go. I'm going to wait for the Blood Moon to pass, though. And I promise you, it was just a Blood Moon, like 2 nights ago. Maybe even one. Maybe it was even last night. I don't know what the chances of that. I think it's like a 30... No, it must be like a 3% chance of a Blood Moon. Honestly, I'm just guessing that number. It just sounds familiar. But the chance of it like 2 nights in a row, that is extremely low. But certainly with this craft, I am not taking any chances. So I'm going to keep my distance and wait this night out. You know what, actually, some of you guys who were really paying attention during that montage, you might have noticed something about the blast furnaces. Okay, so right now I'm in the middle of crafting this Grandmaster Energy Absorber, and hopefully you guys have already seen the end of the segment, but at this very moment in time I've just realised something. To cook this niobium titanium, this requires a minimum heat of 4500 Kelvin, which is tungsten steel, and our blast furnaces are only nichrome. Yeah, which is the one before the tungsten steel level. The good thing is I did anticipate this, just not necessarily for niobium titanium. So we do actually have the tungsten steel available here. I believe it's 2 stacks, so we're just a few dust short. The rest is currently in the blast furnace right now. The thing that's a little concerning though at the moment is when I was moving storage last episode, I noticed an acute lack of mica. Yeah, 360 foils and 1 mica dust. We need 20 foils per coil, and a total of 16 coils? Yeah, 16 coils to upgrade a blast furnace. Wait. 360. 16 times 20 is 360. No way. Do we actually have exact amounts of foil? Thaumcraft has a bad feeling about this here. Wow, okay, well, we also need an ingot of nichrome per coil as well. I believe we should have some more of that. I remember seeing some of that last episode. And it's only going to be 16 nichrome. Is my math off here? I feel like it might be, but I actually cannot believe this. The exact amount of mica we need. Okay, how long on this extra tungsten steel? We're still a few ingots short here. Alright, not too long later, we got all of the tungsten steel in wire form. Molten nichrome, circuit 3, and mica foil. And 25 seconds per coil in an EV assembling machine. Oh yeah, I also had to make an EV mixer, which is not something we had before. Wait, apparently my math was off, but not necessarily in a bad way. We're left with 40 extra foil, but we do actually have our 16 tungsten steel coils, and hopefully the quest. There it is. And now also a blast furnace capable of niobium titanium. And to actually smelt this, we can get a slight energy discount and speed increase if we use helium, which I think we actually got from processing endstone dust through the centrifuges. We have a bit of a backlog over here. Yeah, we have quite a lot of helium, so I mean, why not use it, right? Circuit 11. Nice. And the rest was history, as they say. The Blood Moon is now past. And of course, we were able to get our HV field generator here, which takes the niobium titanium. But also, we should be able to start this craft, this infusion. Let's do this. This is going to take like 5 minutes. The beacon, actually, I had footage of it. It's 4 minutes and 32 seconds to craft a beacon. And this is way more Essentia, so I suspect it's going to be a little more than that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye on this thing. Hopefully nothing goes wrong. Uh-oh. It's already stopped. Why is it stopped? Oh, the jar is blocking. Look at that. Oh, that is, I'm so glad I spotted that there. That could have been a disaster right there. Okay, well, I guess, if you guys are crafting, be careful where you place these jars. I didn't know that was the case. Alright, we are approaching the 4-minute mark on this craft right now. Things have went off pretty flawlessly, but I believe this is going to be the last Essentia, the Instrumentum. It did leave some Vacuos in here. Maybe it pulled from one of these jars. It's possible I had some extra Vacuos in here. 8 minutes crafting, it's pulling in all the items by now. This is it. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. So many hours to craft this thing, and when you think about it, so much infrastructure. I mean, we need like IV, EV circuits, the blast furnaces, the tungsten steel, the niobium titanium, the power requirements, and there it is. There it is. I don't think it's a quest though, but we finally have the Grandmaster Magic Energy Absorber. I always forget the name of this thing. And is it going to be worth it? Well, let's find out. I do need to figure out the specifics of this thing though. Lucky for us though, the specifics are very easy to understand, so I think I got everything configured here. All we have to do is place this thing underneath the dragon egg. The creeper eggs that I mentioned don't work, those only generate as HV power, and so they would only work with the master version, not the Grandmaster version. And this thing feeds its power directly into an EV battery buffer. The battery buffer sends its energy through a cable into the energy acceptor. And yeah, it's basically just as easy as that. So long as the dragon egg exists, we can fully power Applied Energistics for free. We were also able to reclaim some of the gas turbines that were back here. And of course, reduce the consumption of benzene. Oh, look at this thing. This thing looks so cool down here. It's like the perfect spot for it as well. That is awesome. So was all of this worth it? Well, we are gonna find out here. I mean, to be fair, we did have to do a few quests in EV. We got an EV mixer. We got an HV chemical bath for the Radon. We got one of the blast furnaces up to tungsten steel. And not to mention the fact that this thing looks super awesome. Plus, we can reclaim it once it's no longer able to sustain AE2. And speaking of, actually, we should be able to see the power consumption on this thing. Wait, how do we access this again? Oh yeah, you have to craft the network tool. And this thing should be able to tell us the power cost. Yeah, you know what? It's actually not too bad. Only around 300 EU per tick. So the network can get significantly larger on just the dragon egg. And you know something I just learned moments ago? There is actually a quest for both the beacon and the energy absorber. To get the quest though, we need to craft all 3 versions, the LV, the MV, and the HV version. And that is just something I am not going to do right now. Plus the rewards are like, what, 24 balance shards? That is definitely not balanced. Anyways, I would say that's about enough of what is supposed to be just a side project. But you know how this pack is, right? Yeah, it's time for the next project of the day. Alright, so the next phase of our mega project here with the valley has been completed. As we begin to fly around here, you're going to notice some pretty big changes in the valley, and I am really pleased with how this is turning out. Still very unfinished, of course. There's still lots and lots to do around here. And yeah, I think it's coming along very nicely here. Of course, this is only the beginning. This is effectively only the rocket silo and like basically the main hallway and the storage room. Like, we still have all of the chemistry to do, ore processing, Thaumcraft, farms, not to mention basically all the progression from HV to UV. I mean, all of that still has to be dug out and built here. So yeah, I'm just now come to terms with how large of a project this actually is. And even just getting to this point, oh my goodness, this was a grind. This was so many blocks to mine out. But yeah, I want to take you guys around here and talk about some of the changes, one of which you already might have noticed. It could be a little tricky to spot, but we've actually, I don't know if you guys can tell the difference, but we actually introduced another block into this build. So along with the existing mist block which we had previously, we have now also introduced an Aegon block. And in my opinion, really helps to enhance the build. It gives it that nice little extra texture detail on the walls that I think it was badly missing. It's quite a subtle difference, and honestly I was in two minds about actually changing all this, but I decided last night just to bite the bullet and basically change everything. Effectively 50% of all the mist blocks are now Aegon. Even through here, and the little bit of the storage room which has already been built has been exchanged. And you might have noticed a new friend there in the wall. That's right, during the live stream we found Bone Man. That is his name, right? Bone Man? I'm sure he is a very dangerous friend, but I'm sure we have him name tagged. Yeah, he is Bone Man. Yeah, he's a Weber mob, so he makes quite the mess. And he's also very loud. But yeah, check this guy out. He is a zombie villager witch with a bone in his hand. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before. That guy is awesome. So yeah, most of this build was actually developed during the latest live stream. Thank you guys if you managed to tune into any part of that. And during the live stream, we actually got a little sidetracked, as we always do with this pack. And you might have spotted our second beacon of the day. We actually decided to craft another, but this time use it for its intended vanilla purpose, which is to give us haste. Let me tell you guys, there was a lot of manual digging. The filler was used for like basically only the top sections of this whole circle, and basically the rest of it was dug out by hand. Now fortunately our hammer now actually insta-mines hardened clay, so that was pretty cool. We managed to add enough haste onto it, but still it was a lot of digging, especially exchanging all the blocks down here for the Aegon. Pretty much all of that was done by hand. So yeah, the beacon definitely helped us out in that regard. Something that didn't help us out though is all of these mobs. I don't know if you... I think there's actually a cave through here. Yeah. Yeah, look at all these guys. And we had our fair share of mob kills during the live stream. In fact, we actually ran into a Bloodman when we were building. And well... Is that purple fire? Hey, skeleton! Yeah, that was a lot of mobs. In fact, I think that's where we got Bone Man from. But yeah, there's a couple of other details to this build. Most notably these concrete pillars, which we extended all the way down. Just helps to add some extra depth on top of the texture changes. We got a tiny bit more detail done in the middle section here. Although, of course, there is still a lot more detail to actually introduce here. And I do still want to add some windows in. I'm just not sure of the exact floor level of where all the rooms are going to be through here. That's going to be our next steps. And I also decided to implement another little catwalk section on here. Actually, I think this might have been in the previous schematic that we made many episodes back. But yeah, we got it connected under here via some stairs. I think this looks really, really awesome. Just a tiny little detail to add to the build, but yeah, I'm really happy with this. And this, of course, connects underneath to our ME controller. And I reckon we're actually going to extend this all the way along. Like, maybe add some extra tunnels off on these directions. But yeah, you know, it took a very, very long time to actually settle on this design. But especially with the developed version, with the Mist and the Aegon in there, I am actually really starting to like this base. There was many times I wanted to actually scrap the whole thing and just basically start again, but... yeah, that's no longer the case, fortunately, and I'm actually really happy with this. However, I think today we're going to call it a bit of a shorter episode. I know the episodes have been getting very lengthy recently. And don't worry for all of you guys who enjoy the longer episodes, there will be plenty more to come in the future. But before we wrap up today, there's something I mentioned during the live stream that I actually forgot to do, so I want to do it during the episode. And it's something you guys will never expect. At least not from me. We're going to press this button. Oh wait, we can't. Oh, I guess it's per chapter. Okay, well then we're going to press this button like 10 times. Now that we have applied energistics and we have somewhere to actually store all of the rewards, actually let's get a chest for our tools. I know you guys have been waiting for this day for a very long time. I feel like we should now cash in on the quest book. So, here we go. Here goes nothing, I guess. HV has only got 1. Are you sure you want to claim all the rewards? There may be a lot of items that will drop on the ground if your inventory is full. Yes, I do. We have applied energistics now. Okay. A filled tin can and an HV bag. Let's do this from the top, actually. Let's do this from... We actually still have some from the very first quest page. That's crazy. Let's just hit claim all. And let's not say yes always. We'll just manually say yes. Okay, some garbage. You know what? I'm going to put all the rewards in a chest. And I guess it doesn't claim the quest or the choice rewards. Okay, the Stone Age. There's a few here as well. This one looks like it's also a choice reward. Doesn't really matter which one we take here. Wood screws, they're actually useful. Okay, picking up the pace here a bit. In the Steam quests, we've actually got a lot here. Still a few to complete as well. That was a lot of foods, most of which we've actually eaten. Oh, lots of choice rewards. Look at that. Look at all this. I guess we can take it all. Alright, Steam tier is done. Let's move on to LV. There's a few here as well. In fact, I think there's a few in every single quest chapter. Spawn Enderman egg. That chest is also ending up pretty full. Okay, MV. Let's claim all. Lots of choice rewards here as well. Alright, MV chapter is done. Look at all this stuff. We actually got a few circuits. That's not too bad. Oh, wait, I missed one in LV. Okay, now on to EV. I wish it would do all of this for all the quest chapters. Oh, nice, an enchanted EV bag. Compressed copper. That's terrible. This chest is also full. Alright guys, it is done, finally. That actually took a while, and look at this. We have so much stuff here. Lots of it is just garbage. Like, we don't need any of this stuff. The notable stuff is probably the engraved Lapitron chips, an EV pump, some circuit boards, some HV stuff. Not really stuff we're missing out on, to be honest. We are going to open these Space Invaders Mars bags to find basically nothing. Actually, the lander, that's a really good reward. That's really good. Anyways, guys, with that, I think it's also a good point to wrap up the episode. We should be able to get onto a lot more technology, and I want to get as much progression done next episode as we can. Perhaps even open up the IV chapter. We will see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next episode of New Horizons.